Contractors, in this video, we are going to share with you how to hire and train outstanding employees. One of the biggest complaints, gripes I see on all of the construction Facebook groups is nobody's willing to work. They can't hire employees. They have to do everything themselves. That's why they can't grow their business. I don't know. Maybe you want to turn it off right now or join the conversation, but it's something All right, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you can hear this. Testing. I didn't hear my little intro, and normally I do. Anyway, Brian Adams here, the Contractors Contractor. Another episode of Dominate Your Trade. Man, kick your competition's ass. Last week we did personal development, mental martial arts. I left that up. I'm going to touch on that a little bit. But, man, two things that bug me the most in the Facebook groups is one is the question that seems to get asked 2 or 3 times a day in every group of how much should I be charging? Man, that shit kills me. Big Brian Pepperberg checking in. Oh my goodness. Let me see there, brother. Man, Brian, we've got to talk, man. It's been way too long. But the second one that bothers me to death is the whole, I can't find employees. I'm just going to do it all myself. I can't grow my business I don't know which question gets asked the most. And unfortunately, the reason you can't hire employees is it's you. I mean, it's your company. And we're going to go over some stuff today. We got about 30, 40 minutes. But in my program, Master Your Business, there's over 5 hours of training for how to hire and train outstanding employees. But first and foremost, it's just, one, you got to have a business people are willing to work for, a business that people want to come and work for. Man, I got a ton of notes that I wanted to share with you guys today. And jump in, ask anything you want to ask. But too many of you guys just aren't running your business like a business, and that's probably because it's not a business. But and you know my definition of business. And it's not mine. A mentor taught it to me over almost 30 years ago. But if you have to be there, it's not a business. It's a job. And you're working for yourself, and working for you sucks. So with that being said, there's nothing more important than your employees. It's just because without them, you don't have a company. And then without them, you are doing everything. And my buddy James over in Boise, Idaho from Sunshine Design and Build, he'll tell you, man, there's no shame in that game. If that's what you want, then God bless you. And I know because, man, when you get stuck in construction because, man, you go to work, you do something, you come home sweaty, sawdust, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, you're able to look at it and see what you have accomplished. It's a great feeling of pride. I mean, if you take pride in your work and you get a nice chunk of change, man, you make some really good money. If that's what you want, this video is probably not for you. But if that is what you want, you've got to plan for your future. You've got to plan for your retirement. You've got to be putting, the money, the investments, all of that stuff. It's just, for me, it's like, you've got to have life insurance for your family. If you got a family, you need life insurance for them. But I'm telling you, if you got a life insurance policy of 250 grand, 500,000, $1 million, 2 million, that's not enough money. They're going to blow through that very quickly, especially if you have daughters. The best life insurance policy you could leave your family is a manual for your company of how it runs itself. So if something did happen to you, God forbid, they pick up the manual. They know every step by step how to run the business. That's what a franchise is. That's what Big Brian Pappenberg right here, man, for years. He did everything correct. Everything correct. I mean, he worked his ass off in the corporate world, saved every penny, didn't go on the vacations that they wanted to go on. They went on them, but not the ones that they wanted to go on. He's like, they did everything right. He researched all these different franchises because he knew he wanted to make more money and provide more for his family, wanted an umbrella of opportunities for his children, all of that stuff. And he knew it was inside of a franchise, didn't have a business, didn't want to start from scratch, all of that. Looked at a bunch of different companies, ended up with Supercuts. And I don't know, Brian, how many do you have now? 12, 10? How many do you have now? But Brian doesn't cut hair. Trust me, he's a man's man. He's not cutting hair. Not that there's anything wrong with that. A lot of men do cut hair. But he manages the businesses, and actually he's got managers who manage the business, and he manages the managers, that type of deal. But that's what it is, man, and that's what we're going to talk about. Good deal, brother. Big JB, what's up? Checking on you. Family dinner. All right, because JB is right there right now, growing his company, and from Barcelona. All right, brother. So you got to have the employees, and there's a lot to it. There's how you run the ads. You've got to market more to hire employees than you market to get leads, to get business. That's how important it is. I've said for years is never hire when you need people. The worst time to hire is when you need people, because you're willing to accept every and anything that breathes and stands up. If they can show up, just showing up, you'll give them a job. And it's just not the way it's not the way you do it. But at the same time, right underneath that should be, you're always hiring. You've always on the lookout. I'm not a fan of business cards. I haven't had business cards since 2000. I do think the employees you should get business cards for the employees. There's a lot that goes into it. There's business cards that you give clients so that they can give out, that they get a referral fee. There's some of that stuff, but you do need one for like where to go to and apply for your company. So man, where to start? And there's so much, and it's everything is connected to everything. So it's there's no straight order that you can do this, but is you hire the attitude, not the experience. And you can write this stuff down or rewind it and watch it later. But that's one, is number one is just the worst time to hire is when you need somebody. Number two is you're always hiring. You're always on the lookout. You want to, number three, you want to hire people who are already working. Number four is you want to hire the attitude, not the experience. You can, because even if they've got experience, it's not going to be your experience. You should have systems in your business that you're going to have to teach and train someone anyway. Your website, you know how important that is. There should be a page on your website, and now we can call it Meet the Family, Meet the Team Members. You can have one specifically for click here to apply, that type of deal. But I like the employee page, the team member page, because everyone that works for you, maybe I'd like them to have a small little video, you and them sitting there, just like a little 30-second video introducing themselves, just saying something personal, that type of deal. I like that because when you're sending employees out to someone's house, a client's house, you can send them a link. You say, hey man, Carlos is going to be there, Brian's going to be there to get started. Here's a link. You can learn more about him. So when he shows up, so when he does show up, she shows up, they show up, they know more about who's coming to their house, that type of deal. But they are part of the family. You want them to, because that makes them feel a part of the company. I mean, there's a lot that goes into this, man. You just slow down, get some coffee, get your notebook. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it. That's why when I see this question, how do you hire people? It's like, you don't just hire them, man. It's like you just, most of the time when contractors hire guys, it's all you're doing is, one, you're going on Facebook and asking who needs some work tomorrow. Shit, man, if they need work tomorrow, you probably don't want them. But that, so the web page is on that page where they're meeting, where a client can go and just, because a client's going to go to your website, they're probably going to go through every page learning as much about your company as they can. You're highlighting individuals, whether it's pictures or videos, and a little biography or bio about what they do and their family, and maybe, and hopefully them, and pictures of their family with them, that type of deal. But on that page also, it's what you expect out of your employees, but that's second. Because first is always what employees can expect from you. And that's what we're talking about, is you've got to have a company worth working for. People would do far more for appreciation than they'll do for money. But they got to know that there's a future. And I don't mean that you've been in business for 10 years. Who gives a shit about you? What's the future for them with you? I mean, and all of that's going to be, we're going to talk about manuals and stuff in a second, but you've got to highlight that on your website, on that page. And then like the page where, click here to learn more, how you can join this team, that type of thing. You've got to have a separate phone number. You've got to have a system for interviewing people. And that's part of that phone number. You can't give a business card out or say, hey man, call. It's like, your number is too important to just give to everybody. And that's all of sales and marketing anyway, definitely for employees. But because when you do find someone's interested, and when you are running ads and you're running these ads, you're writing these ads to where they're reading it and they're like, oh my God, I've been working for this dude 10 years and love working here, but I got to go work for these people. That's how important, that's how you write in the ad. And then when they call, and there's a number to call, they call that number and there's specific instructions, and tell them, say, hey man, these are very specific instructions. This is the very first interview. There's 3 things I need you to do. And then you lay out those 3 things, blah, 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 whatever it is, email, this and that. And then, the last one is what they do with that information that you're asking for. Reason being is immediately you're going to weed out the people that can't follow instructions. I mean, just get that out of the way right now. They call you up, they talking to you. Hey man, yeah man, go to my website, do this. Here's a card, call this number, follow these instructions, blah, blah, blah. And that's got to get them to at least number 2 interview. That should make sense. Okay. All right, Big Charlie, man, I'm glad you're here, but I would rather you be in New Mexico hiking right now, Charlie. Jonathan, what's up, B? What's up, brother? Yeah, man. So that's part of the system. And then there's the interviewing system and what you're going to do next, that kind of stuff. And again, remember, you're hiring attitude. So maybe they've got one other thing to do. You call them up. Maybe it's a phone interview. You've got to have about 3 or 4 questions. You're going to keep it to under 15 minutes. If that works out, you're going to bring them in for an interview, talk to them, look at them, make sure they show up on time, 5 to 10 minutes early, that type of deal. And then the last interview is going to be, you're going to bring them in, and there's going to be the office manager, project manager, and a couple of other team members, employees. So 4 or 5 people sitting in the room, and everybody's just going to meet each other and talk about, what work is like, what a day in the day in the life of your business is like. And right now, everything that I just said, you're going, oh shit, man, that's already too much. Yeah, no shit, man. It's a business. It's a business. Run it like a business. These people should look at coming to work for you as not a job, but a career. You've got to get that through your head, man. You've got to get that through your head. Man. That whole, the market, boom, have a page, that whole company working for and showing them the future, what you offer them, all of that stuff. So let's talk about and again, it's the way you write that ad wherever you're putting it, whether it's Facebook, Craigslist, I mean, all over the place. And again, yeah, you're going to have to run these ads, but not if you have that little business card. Uh, you've got to learn that you're hiring these guys. You are always looking. Man, when you're at Lowe's, at Home Depot, at supply houses, yes, man, yes, I'm saying still your people's still your competition's employees. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Okay, let's make no bones about it. That's what I'm saying. Uh, if they're friends of yours, maybe you want to think twice. I've got some guys that called me up looking for work, but I know they work for guys that I've helped train in this industry and helped them get their business going. I'm like, hey man, uh, I'll hire you, but I got to call George first. I got to call, Jeff, and I got to call these people and, what's going on? How come you want to blah, blah, blah. And that type of thing. But if you're my true competition, I'll hire everybody you got and put you out of business. No bones about it. It's the way it is. But so you're always looking. All of those places, donut shop, restaurants, wherever you're at, church, just out and about, sitting there getting your hair cut, you're talking to people, you're always talking, man, what do you do? Oh, wow, boom, boom, boom. Really, you like it over there? Man, that's cool as heck, man, boom, boom, boom. See somebody with construction boots on, a shirt on, they're a painter, maybe you do cabinets, maybe you do roofs or something, whatever. If you do roofs and they painting, man, it's gonna be hard to steal because not a lot of people want to get on that hot ass roof when they could be in the air conditioned painting. But you see what I'm saying? Because you say, man, and you started off like this it's like, oh man, you meet, you're always making that relationship first. You're always making the relationship first, and it's never, hey Jeff, come to work for us, man. We're a great company. Blah, 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 blah. No, it's always, well, look, man, I'm sure you're happy over there where you're at, Jeff. Let me give you a card. If you know someone, because we're always growing, we're always expanding. Here's what we do. Blah, blah, blah. And you go through the list of boom, you got your bonuses, this and that, your training, where someone could start off, where they're going to be next year, where they're going to be 3 years, 5 years, 7 years with their own company. You can have all of that stuff. So it only takes like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but you're telling them all that. And you're going, man, if you know someone that's looking and they got the attitude and the personality that you've got, because I know you're like, someone like you is, or you're hanging around with people like you. And that's what we're looking for. So take this, you know, someone, man, give this to them for me. I really appreciate it. And that's going to get the ball rolling. You see what I'm saying? I hope this is making sense. Rewind it and play that again while I'm drinking this. What did Big Anthony say? All right. Anthony says, what are some of your favorite questions to ask prospective employees, both labor and management? One, it's always, not much of it is about work. It's more of things that they do family wise, future, like for their family. If they've got kids, if they do have kids, what would they want for their kids? I'm glad you brought that up, Anthony, because that's why I left this on the board. Because that's what I want to know. Because if I can get them talking about their family, if I can get them talking about their why, I've got them. Because, and I've done presentations for over 20 years now, 25 years now. And I've always said is, look, man, as great as my kids think I am, and I try to live up to that. And the majority of my employees are used to, like me, love me, whatever. I mean, I've helped a lot of them get their businesses going. And they'll say, oh, man, I owe it to Brian. They don't owe me shit, man. They did it. But as great as my kids think I am, I know people are not showing up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go and bust their ass all day long to make me rich, to make me wealthy, to make me live the life that I've been able to live. I know it ain't true. I mean, I can try to kid myself and say it is, but it's not. Everybody is showing up for their own reason. And I'm talking to them and I'm trying to figure out that reason. And I'm keeping that reason in front of them forever. Like 6 months go by, a year goes by, man, but boom, the kids where they're at doing this kind of stuff. What's the kid? I'm always talking about that. Always talking about that. I'm hiring the attitude. I'm hiring the person. The training part, I'd almost rather have them green than have to change bad habits. uh, a little bit, but if you know how to really work people and train people, even the bad habits, you can tweak it in a good way to where they understand it, that you're not coming from at a negative. When I go into martial arts studios, I have them work out for about 15, 20 minutes. I see all their negative habits or bad habits. And I don't call them bad habits. I just say, look, man, if I came in here and showed you and we did, and I taught the class in a way that we did everything the way you're doing it right now, would be no reason for me to be here. So I'm going to show you a different way to do everything that you're doing right now. Not good, bad, or ugly, just a different way to do everything you're doing right now. And that way it makes it worth me being here. So the same way I'm training someone on the tools or with the trade, I'm saying the same thing. I was like, man, I did it, like, boom, here's just a different way that you can do it. And here's why we do it that way. And if they're doing it a different way than I do it, and I like it and it works, we're changing the training manual, that kind of stuff. But normally it's like I do things for a certain way for a reason, and I explain what that reason is, and boom, it's like, look, but if you're more comfortable, but I want them to say, damn, shit, man, I just learned from this cat, and we're going to do it that way. But that's that part. But those are the questions that I'm asking. Is I'm trying to figure out the person. I'm trying to figure out their why, and get them like that. Big Jim, what's up, brother? Another thing we need to be doing is, and with that family thing, is all of it is, you got to be having like weekly meetings. I know that sounds like a lot. Actually, depending on like, and every one of you guys are different. Something like Anthony's a GC. I don't even know if his employees are office people, project managers, answering the phone, doing sales, that kind of stuff. You may be the sales guy and the project manager guy, and you just have 3 or 4 guys working for you out on in the field. So everybody's at a different place, but you've got to have that training system. Is, man, when you're just turning guys loose to fly off like bumblebees all over the place, I'm telling you, man, it's like herding cats. You can't round them up. It's tough. You've got to have that straight line of where it is that you want to be for your company. Each job, you've got to lay out to where you've got certain goals and certain things and how you want it to turn out. And I mean, all of this kind of stuff. And that's where the employee, like, usually when guys hit me up, oh man, all that bullshit you talk about hiring employees and this and that is, but I'm like, dude, just send me over your employee manual and I'll take a look at it and see what you're doing wrong. Man, fuck you. I ain't got no employee manual. That's stupid, man. I'm just a one-man guy. That's what I'm saying. When do you think you need an employee manual? When do you think you need an employee training manual? And they're different. They're different. You got one that may be 2 or 3 pages that when you hire them, maybe, and that could be for like the sales guy, the office manager, lady, that kind of stuff. But everybody gets that because that's what the company expects, all that stuff. And then you've got the training manual, meaning how it is that you do certain things, certain ways, time, all of that stuff. Because if it's not written down, it's not real. Your daily journal, all of that shit. If it's not written down, it's not real. So when do you think you need the manual? When you got 2 guys, 3 guys, 4 guys, 10 guys, and you got a bunch of shit going wrong, and you're yelling at everybody, and everybody's going, well, I didn't know. No, man, no. If you are in business for yourself, and you're the only person working, and that's how most of us start out, and then we'll hire someone part-time. But you are your first employee. You've got to start thinking like a business owner. You are your first employee. You need to write an employee manual for yourself. You need to write an employee training manual for yourself. And the training manual could just be your, standard operated procedures. That bullshit that everybody likes to say all the time. They're 2 separate, but you need to start right now. It's like, as your company, like where you want the company to be, and like, oh man, I don't want to set no goals. I don't want to have no big, it's like, all right, then, but you still got to have something that is like how you treat the clients, what you expect out of yourself when you finish a project. How's the client going to feel about you? All of that shit, man. Right now, when it's just you, start writing it down right now. Like, all of that, how to address, how to talk to clients, what to do when you get there, all of it, everything. Just write it down, and then the training procedures and all that stuff. Like, when you're showing up, how to leave the job site at the end of the day, even though you're coming, it's 7 at night, you worked late, you're coming back, you're gonna be there 6:30 in the morning, but no, man, you're still cleaning up, you're still doing this. Maybe the homeowner's gonna stop by after they get off of work or after dinner, and it's 8 o'clock. You don't want them to walk in and see shit scattered all over, all of that stuff, man. You've got to know what it is. And it's going to be a if this is new to you, it's going to be a learning experience. If you get online, you go to Google, you type in HR employee training manual, or it's probably going to say employee manual. And you can start there, but it's going to give you, and you're going to type in your city, your state, your county, and it's going to give you a bunch of shit, like the legal part. And I don't know, man, check with whoever it is that you want to check with. Maybe you want to have that in there on the last couple of pages or something. But in all honesty, it's you could hire an HR person. You're better off to get with your wife, your office manager, somebody, you and a buddy, something, and you're just really writing down what it is that you expect out of employees, how to show up, what time to show up, how to have the attitude, how to leave, what you expect out of them, even when they're not clocked in, if they're wearing your shirt or your hats, that kind of stuff. And I don't want it overwhelmed. I mean, it should be 1 through 21, something like that. Probably, if you're lucky, you get 1 through 11, just something real easy. So put in a little picture if you want, because that's something you're going to be able to go over in like a 20 or 30-minute meeting. You're going to give them a copy, and you're going to read all of it and explain it to them. And it's probably a good time to do that during that last interview when everybody is in the room. Because once you set that whole standard, that you create that atmosphere with everyone, is you don't have to train them. You don't have to, because you're not going to be there anyway. But it's like, it's the other guys that work for you will be training them and be watching them. And they're not going to be getting away with crap and doing things different, because the people who work for you love working for you and want to keep that standard, that kind of thing. I hope that makes sense. Any questions? We're going to keep going. But you start right now with the manual, and then the training manual. So let's get to the real talk. Honestly, it comes down to pay. It really comes down to pay. I've said, hey, watch all of these videos, man. You've got to be charging more than your competition, because you're going to be paying more than your competition. There's a certain point you get to hourly, I don't know, however you want to structure your business. But these people, I'm telling you, man, if they're your top guy, if they go through your training process, and that should be in your manual, whether it's going to take you 1 year to get here, 2 years to get here, 3 years to get here, by the end of 5 years, you're going to be running your own crew. You're going to have your own help. You're going to be doing this. You're going to be making 150, 175 grand a year. Oh my God, Brian, I don't even make 150 grand a year. Then fucking quit and go get a job. But these guys that you're hiring, they've got to have that pay scale. And honestly, depending on where you're living at, maybe 75 grand is a lot of money. I'm with you. But if they cannot afford to buy their own 3-bedroom, 2-car garage house on the money that you're paying them, you're not paying them enough. But they've got to earn it. This ain't welfare, bitch. They got to earn it, and you set the standards for how they earn it, that kind of stuff. That's what you're talking about, man. That's how you're getting guys to come in. That's why I say is you've got to get, look at Henry Ford, his biography, man. Every year, his goal was to pay his employees more money, charge less for the truck, and have the company make more profit. You can't do those 3 things. That should be impossible. But he did it. That's why Ford is Ford. But he did it by fine-tuning everything. There was no wasted seconds anywhere. You've got to get so good at what you do, so profitable. That's why I keep telling you guys, don't text me and message me and whatever the hell and tell me, oh man, we're doing 2 million this year. I don't care. The only number I care about is the profit, man. What's the profit? What's the profit? Google the profit that Amazon has in the bank. Google the profit that McDonald's has in the bank. All of these big companies, how much cash they have in the bank. Not the profit, but the cash on hand in the bank. Your company has to be cash fat happy. You've heard that over and over again. And you need that because that's how you're going to be stealing these employees, right? You got to pay these guys. But when you get so good, you got to be so good at what you do that you could charge the same price as your competition. And at the end of the project, you'd be able to earn 20 to 25% more profit than they do. You got to get this. I hope that makes sense. They're charging $1,000. You're charging $1,000 at the end of the day because you've gotten done so quickly. It may take them 5 days, takes you 3 days. Material wise and stuff, probably going to be the same, but that profit margin is going to be so high. Yet you're so good. You've built the reputation. You built the brand because of all these videos and all the training that I'm giving you guys. Your brand is so big, your name is so big in your area, you're dominating your trade in your area, kicking your competition ass. That's what this is about. You're able to charge 20 to 25% more than what they charge. You see what I'm saying? So you're charging, if you charge the same amount, you'd still be making 25% more profit because you're so damn good. Yet you're so damn good, you're able to charge 25% more than what they charge. So at the end of the day, you're walking away with 50% more profit. That's where all this money comes from to pay these guys, bonuses and everything. Let's talk about bonuses. That's when you're talking to that dude, Jeff, whatever, you're giving him the business card, you're running the ad, any of that stuff. You're always talking is you've got to have the 3-month sign-on bonus. You come up with whatever the hell it is. $100 ain't shit. I mean, you drop $100, I don't even know if I'm going to slow down to pick it up. But so at least $250. I mean, stretch it to $500 if you can. Give them a reason to hang out for 3 months. And you got, and that's why the systems of having them call and go through the instructions and make sure they can follow instructions, the phone interview, the in-person interview, the second in-person interview, all of that stuff, man. It's you waste so much money on new employees. That's why they call it double dip here in LA. A couple of my buddies have retired from LAPD 3 or 4 years ago, but so they get their retirement, yet they get to get their job back and work for another 5 years at pay type of deal. A couple of buddies that just retired from special forces, but years ago they were offered I think it was $100,000 cash if they would sign on for 3 more years, something, because it takes, I mean, that's even though $100,000 sounds like a lot of money in the big scheme of things, it probably costs $300,000 to $500,000 to train these guys to get to where they're at. So if they can keep them on for a little while longer, they're saving money. So that's the whole thing, is come up with that 3-month bonus, 6-month bonus, and the year bonus. So look, man, here's what, boom, you stay around, you make it for the 3-month trial period, whatever the hell you want to call it, get $500. Boom. That's enough money right there to get somebody's eyes lighting up, blah, 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 for just showing up for 3 months. And then you got that 6-month bonus, and then you got that year-end bonus. You've got to do it. That's what a company does. That's why you've got to be running it like a business. You got to go through these videos. You've got to start somewhere. Sign-on bonuses, employee training manual, that meetings, you're not going to have these daily meetings, but it may even be hard to have these weekly meetings, but you definitely got to have monthly meetings. But then you've got, and not, and then you're training. So whatever field you're in, any of the trainings that you guys, that your associations offer, you want to send a couple of guys to those, then have them come back, and everyone goes through what you talked about and learned. If it is that you learned anything, you've got to have, every now and then, you got to have these spaghetti dinners, or just, meeting at Sizzlers or Cracker Barrel, wherever the hell it is that you live. And just, you and the guys, you and the team, and, showing up, 10 guys, 20 guys, whatever the heck it is. You've got to do that stuff. You've got to create the atmosphere of family. And then, at least once a year, whether it's maybe twice a year, you maybe want to have that Christmas holiday get together with everybody and the families. And then during the summer sometime, maybe you want to do some kind of cookout picnic with the families. You've got to have the family atmosphere. The kids and the wife have to love your company just as much, hopefully more, than the dude working for you. Because even when he gets frustrated and this and that, it's going to be the wife and the kids are going to go, oh man, no, man, Dad, we love Anthony over there, Sunshine Design and Build, man, this, that, and what about that? It's like all of that. And that's what you talk about too, is even on your family employee page, whatever you do on your website, that kind of stuff has got to be there. You want to have the videos of those gatherings and get-togethers. You want to have the pictures, picturing those on your Google My Business, on your Facebook, Instagram, if you're doing that stuff, all of that. So I don't know, it's 35 minutes into it. We're going to call it a day. I wanted to make this video because it's more, I can't answer it in a text or a Facebook post, but I can grab this link and share it with guys who cry about not being able to hire employees. They're not able to hire employees because they're not trying. And if they are trying, they're not trying right. There's a system for everything. And like I said, in our program, Master Your Business, we have over 5 hours of training just for the employees. It's how to write the ads, how to do the interviews. It's all of that stuff. But this is enough to get you started. This is enough to plant some seeds. This is enough to get you to understand what I'm talking about. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Brian Adams, Contractors, Contractor. This has been another episode of Dominate Your Trade. Hey, do me a favor. Leave any of the comments. I will answer them later on. Watch it on YouTube. Hopefully you are. Click the subscribe button. Ring the bell. That way you're notified. And, man, it's been a great week, guys. Blessed to have you here. Hit me up. Do whatever you're doing.